Here's to books. It really was one of those ideas that came out of instinct and organically, just like, oh, I like a Baby Ruth bar, I like a Musketeers, I like a Snickers. I wonder if I want to share it with somebody else. And it blossomed into this great big giant marketing tool for books.
Today we're announcing a big, I mean B-I-G book. So excited, so excited, so excited. Book Club Day, Book Club Day. It's gonna be fun, y'all. Who knew you could stir up this much excitement over books?
What is she talking about? Like on the
just
book?
because you
On the
don't
book?
understand it, just because you don't understand it, he saw her kneeling at the foot of her father's bed in her slip, and as a result, thought that they had been in bed. But that's why it ended. He was disgusted by her.
Shake it, squeeze it, plow it, seed it, reap it, buy it, sell it, own it, build it, multiply it, and pass it on. Can you hear me? Pass it on. Now you tell me. You tell me. You tell me, my sister, what is better than that?
Who knew? That was not my idea. My idea was just to sort of share a few stories with other people who might like the same read that I had and who might like to read the same book that I had read. That's how it started.
This is one of my all-time favorite moments I'm having on television right now. You are witnessing it. Mainly because I love books. When I was growing up, books were my friends. When I didn't have friends, I had books. And one of the greatest pleasures I have right now in life is to be reading a really good book and to know I have a really, really good book after that book to read. So I love books. I think that books open windows to the world for all of us.
It wasn't my idea. The idea belonged to Alice McGee, who started the very same day I did. And over the years, Alice and I shared books. We talk about books. We would read books at the same time. One year she came and said, why don't we do this on the air? I'm like, do what? She said, why don't we just, I think it would be a good idea if we did the book club on the book club that we do. I think it'd be nice if everybody else could get in on it. Everybody like who? Like America?
Song of Solomon!
Month after month, book after book.
Songs in ordinary time.
You got reading. You changed the face of the bestseller list. Troubled little girls from Ruth to Dolores to Trudy were transformed to literary lions. You all made it happen, and the book world took notice. And late summer, our humble book club got as big as life. Who knew? It used to be, not true now, but it used to be at the end of the book jacket that would have the author's name and the author's city. And 20 years ago, everybody was listed in the phone book. But I remember we called Wally Lamb. She's come on down, one of our most popular books. And Wally Lamb was doing his laundry, and we were like, oh my God. You know what that was like? It was like when you first find out that your fourth grade teacher has a first name. Like, oh my God, he's doing laundry? And he's an author? And he's doing laundry? So after that, I called up lots of people. I figure out, you know, you can just call them up and you can say, I'm reading your book right now. And I really didn't get that part about. So that's how we got the idea that because we liked it so much, calling up authors, that maybe other people would like talking to the authors. There's nothing better. It's a kick. I still get a big kick out of it.
Well, Wally Lamb, if it ain't you.
Well, here we are.
Yeah, I can't wait to sit down and dinner with you and find out how the story formed in your head and why you aren't schizophrenic yourself now. And maybe you really are.
Well, we'll find out as the evening unfolds.
Yes, maybe you really are. This always happens at our book club dinners. We come together to talk about a book, but end up discussing so much more, and the conversation gets deeper and deeper. So you could have heard a pen drop, and Isabel Allende told us the story of how she has found peace in the aftermath of her daughter's death.
I had a revelation when my daughter was sick. Paula was in a coma for a year, and she was totally paralyzed. And I would look into her black eyes, and it would be like two pools of dark water. There was nothing there. And I couldn't communicate with her in any way. Her body changed. She wasn't the same person physically. Her mind was gone. There was no form of communication. Yet she was she. There was something that is the spirit. And I can't tell you what it is, but it is so real and so amazingly strong that even that doll in that bed was a person, had that presence, had a destiny. In that same room where my daughter died, my granddaughter was born. And I pulled her out of her mother. And there was a moment when I had her in my hands the same way I had Paula in my arms when she was dying. And the moment in the room was the same. The stillness, the sense of sacredness, the sense that something mysterious and wonderful is happening. Again, the spirit. You have this person going through a threshold to another stage, and the moment is identical as the stage in which that other person is coming into the world through the mother. So extraordinary.
I know, the little hairs on my head are rising right now just hearing you talk about it. That is a revelation.
I would have to say, authors are like gods to me. Authors to me are like gods. Small g gods, but authors are like gods to me. Toni Morrison, who I feel is one of the leading, most important living authors. So Toni Morrison is coming to my house. I don't even know first of all, what to serve. I think I went out and bought new plates too. Like that's gonna make a difference. I got new plates. She immediately understood how serious everybody was about her work. And I think that is very validating, to have somebody really appreciate your work and to understand what it takes to do the job that you do.
What do you want us to take away? Everyone takes away something different. As an author, do you start out with what you want us to leave?
Some of the messages I want to convey are, pastel strokes, not the heavy, thunderous ones, but the willingness to take risks with one's own life, the willingness to live an enchanted life, a life where these things mean something, a willingness to see the other side of things. It's like turning up the volume of your life.
Yes.
Yeah. Not just turning it on, but turn it up. Yeah. And some people used to complain if characters in my books were not realistic, they were bigger than life. And I kept saying, no, life is big. They are as big as life.
Yes. That's what they are. They're as big as life.
We make life small. Yeah. We make it tiny and think it only is our incomes. Life is big. And we have it now. This is it. So let's do it.
The authors are like, there is no higher being on earth to me. You can do a CD, you can do a movie, you can do a recording, you can do whatever. It's there. But Socrates, had he any clue that we'd still be talking about him today? Had he any clue? Mr. Plato, he's just walking around saying a bunch of philosophical stuff. Had he any idea people be quoting him and teaching him in school? Oh no, it's huge. That written word, in stone, passed down through the ages. It's amazing. It's better than a DVD. I think so.
Annie wrote us to say that she's never read a book once in her entire life. Not one?
Not one.
How did that happen? You can read?
I can read. Yeah, I can read. I just never did until I kept watching the book club, and it was like something made me want to do this. It was like, I got to take part in this. It looks so wonderful, and there was just so much excitement around it. It's like, I have to do this. And finally, I bought my first book, and I bought it so I would have to read it, and I did it. She's Come Undone, and I cried at the end, and it was because I finished it, and it was a great book.
It was the first book you read at 40 years old?
Yes.
I could weep for you.
I've been weeping all day.
That is amazing.
It is wonderful.
That book club idea. Gee, I have to say, what a remarkable idea that was.